Hi, welcome back to the channel, TrainStation 2. Alright, we are preparing for the mini event delivery challenge. I built another bank. Alright, now let's see what we got here. Alright, there's some good rare upgrade materials. We're collecting quite a fair bit of them. And then eventually, I think very importantly, we need to upgrade those trains. In delivery challenge, I think you're going to deliver all the items and hence the number of type of engines and type of trains, i.e. rare, epic, legendary or common, and of course the capacity is definitely an issue. So do not forget about your sea trade. As you can see, we are now missing timber, so I'm just going to get some timber, and very quickly we should be able to complete that sea trade and grab those blue maps. I'm going to mention that more importantly, the fundamentals of this whole game is about warehouse spacing. So if you have insufficient warehouse spacing, you will suffer tremendously. How do you get warehouse spacing? Upgrade population through the upgrade building requests, and of course you need blue maps. Definitely, you can see the number of yellow and red maps I have, but the blue maps are always something that run out really quick. So with the population catered, then you can have your warehouse expanded. Currently, I'm having a 7188 population. Definitely hoping to join that 10,000 club really soon. Having a good population is really important, so you can get a warehouse, and of course, not to forget about your train capacity is definitely important. There, whether to dismantle your duplicate trains is always a question. Just take this as a simple rule. Any trains that are common, definitely you could, if you have more than sufficient of those types. What I meant is sometimes there will be a double restriction whereby they require common trains and steam engine, for example. And if you have only 3 steam engines with common, then you can only send 3 dispatcher to clear that delivery. That would impede your progress. So if you have more than sufficient, you felt that you have 4 or 5, and you think that you wouldn't be spending all your dispatches on one delivery. So probably an average, probably 5 of the same engine type. Even though it's duplicate, just keep them. If you have the number 6 steam engine common, probably then you can go ahead and dismantle them. And why do you want to dismantle them is because of parts. If really you're so desperate in terms of parts, there are a few ways of getting the parts. One, be hardworking, continuously try to look into the game to get those free parts. Most of the time you'll get common parts. Watch a video as well. And then of course you can claim all these coins, because on the daily sometimes there'll be offers in terms of spending coins to get those parts. So this is a few ways that you can get those parts rather than dismantling your trains. We're going to bear in mind the train costs 100 metal keys. Alright, so you can see here the next delivery challenge is coming about. We got to put up all the requirements up front. What I mean by that is to fill up your factories, all your 6 factories to the brim, i.e. input tray and output tray. I can see all the factories has been all emptied from the previous mini tycoon train tycoon event. What I'm trying to do now is to rebuild all the 6 factories to the max, which means that all the output trays will definitely be filled. What I'm also aiming for will be all the input trays filled as well. But you have to make a good choice. I mean, it depends on your own. For me, I have timber, I have steel, I have flour factory. So definitely I'm not going to do those stuff in the factory itself. If possible, I'll try to do those stuff that I do not have able to get direct access with. So you also got to bear in mind certain items take an hour or so or more than that to complete. Do get those stuff ready, otherwise you will have a hard time during the competition to get it ready and delivered. So this is something you got to bear in mind. At the same time, there will be certain buildings that actually you check on the levels icon just below the level 212. You can see a building with a dollar sign. You got to check those whether you can purchase any of the buildings. So if I'm not wrong, I have a bank that I've been pending for quite some time, didn't have really much time, and also depending on whether I have the warehouse spacing to get all those materials ready. Apparently they need a lot of steel and I think one other material I can't remember, but apparently the space that require probably 1,000 or so. So sometimes it's really good that after a mini event, I've depleted all the items and I got lots of warehouse spacing. Then probably it'll be good now to go and grab that building, which I'm going to do it in this video anyway. So as you can see, what I'm trying to do right now is to make the iron powder. Definitely not a good thing to store in such a factory because the iron mill, you know that you can see here, iron powder only take 3 minutes to manufacture, and grabbing those iron is only 30 seconds. So in generally, I would say that it costs you about 3 minutes 30 seconds or so to generate one set of the iron powder. So that's not a lot of time, which you can definitely afford to do it during the competition itself. So why am I doing that right now is because it's a subcomponent for this saw blade, and saw blade takes quite some time. And of course, not only saw blade, we're talking about the tables. So saw blade is a subcomponent of a table. So what I'm trying to do is to build up the subcomponent saw blades so that I can build up more tables, because it takes a while. So it's not my requirement right now to build up number of iron powder. So do not misunderstand what I'm trying to do. I just want to be clear so that you don't go and do up all the iron powder ready for collection, because iron powder is not worth doing to fill up your warehouse spaces. Because definitely if I need to throw anything, I will throw away this iron and iron powder, because it's just a 3 minutes 30 second thing, right? So bear in mind, you can see I'm making a lot of steel. Again, this steel are not supposed to fill up your warehouse to the max, right? I mean, when I always advocate about filling up the warehouse to the max, I'm not talking about steel, I'm talking about copper. So then why am I doing all the steel? Is because it's a requirement right now. I'm building up to claim that bank, because I have a bank waiting to be claimed, which I need to have a lot of steel. If I'm not wrong, it's 500 numbers of steel. Of course, I can collect directly, but at the same time, I just want to make them so as to hasten the whole process as well. Alright, so we can see blue maps are something that's really precious, and of course upgrading them whenever it's possible, including what I did just was I'm so-called cancel an order to make a sort. So I'll get back the raw material in an input tray and then use it. So this is what I meant by having your factories as input and output tray as an interim warehousing, because those finished products at your output tray, if you claim them, you'll fall into your main warehouse. Alright, so this is the building, the bank I'm talking about just now. Okay, I'll come to that later on. So talking back to interim warehousing in your factory, when you have an output tray like this or filled, whatever happens you throw into the input tray will be stuck there. And why you do want to throw in more things in the input tray is because you wanted to have the flexibility to convert them back. So for example, a set of glue is basically fuel and wood. So what I'm trying to say is that we have lots of fuel and wood waiting for us, and not because I want to manufacture glue. I hope that's clear. So I just want to repeat again. Of course, if your factory output tray is not filled, the production line would run, and if you put in your fuel and wood, you will make glue, right? But once you have that manufacturing production line stalled by filling the output tray, the finished product all filled, it will not happen, because you can't produce anything, because once your factory is filled. So what I do is I'll put stuff into the input tray to act as interim warehousing for my use later on. If I require any, I'll just cancel the order and then get back that raw material. Alright, so that's what I mean. And you can see me making a lot of this stuff, and sometimes you gotta bear in mind, you do not need to wait for items to complete. You can actually reshuffle the priority, so by cancelling orders, so you can shift your later orders up front, right? So of course, I guess I want to mention again the importance of collecting coins. A lot of things you need coins, and your coins will definitely run out really fast. So I can see initially, I think after the Christmas event, I think I have about 200,000 coins, but now I'm left with 471. That's really fast, right? So why is that so? Is because as you progress in terms of the different levels, upgrading of the trains will need an exorbitant amount of coins and upgrade materials. So it's not as easy as it used to be. So it's something you're going to get used to. All right. So now I'm going to claim that bank that I've always been mentioning. Finally, I claim it. And of course, once I claim this, I have 6 buildings. I'm going to maintain the 5 building techniques for the building of the population. I'm going to remove one and then put back and surrounding the special building in the center. So this is my formation in that context. All right. So I'm almost coming towards the end of the video. Just want to advocate again. Have your items already in the factory. I'll just make sure I have all the factories filled to the brim, and I'm going to work on the remaining. I think it's copper because I do not have sufficient copper. The rest of the building I'm quite happy with it. So after that, I'm not going to lock into the game. I'm going to start really late, right? So make sure you start at least 12 hours late for the competition, and I wish you good luck. Update again when it comes to the competition. Goodbye.